Push on the beat.
Right, 18 August 2025, and today I'm excited to be giving you my morning update. And today I'm just going to slightly move away from Chiwenga and Mnangagwa. So I'm going to do that later during the day. So today I want to briefly look at what is happening. There's a new trend where Zimbabweans who are overseas are now trying to come back home, and you can see it through all the online platforms that most Zimbabweans are now retiring, and especially those who are in the diaspora. So because I'm in this space, I want to briefly touch on what is happening, why Zimbabweans are returning home, especially those with bigger families. So especially UK people, they're finding it very difficult to live in the UK. And many UK families are returning home or trying to return home. So strategically, most of them are trying to build in Zimbabwe, then move to a house. And I want to briefly touch on the losses that are taking place, especially the people I'm talking to. So if you're in the UK, try to avoid the same mistakes that other people are making, which is to spend a lot of money upfront before you arrive in Zimbabwe, thinking that you're going to find a beautiful Zimbabwe that is livable, where you can operate with your own, the way you normally know life is. So basically what I can say, and I want to keep this very short, under a minute, the current situation in Zimbabwe does not permit you to return home. So I'm going to be emphasizing this for a long time. It's not yet ready for you to come home. Don't waste your money going to Zimbabwe, especially this particular time. It's very bad. The situation is deteriorated very rapidly. And if you take your family to Zim, you will likely return to the UK or any other country where you are within a short space of time. The current economic situation does not permit you to be in Zim. It's now dog eat dog in Zimbabwe, and the level of crime has increased dramatically over the past few months. And even those people that you think are doing well are not doing well. They are struggling very badly. So the situation in Zimbabwe is not ready. So don't make that plan to say, I want to go to Zimbabwe, I want to go and build my house, I want to go and do this and that, and I'll make money. There is no market. The situation is very bad, and you should stay where you are if you can. So if you're forced, yes, you can go to Zimbabwe. And if you're moving because of a force, or if you're forced to move, the thing that I suggest you do is to actually go to your rural homestead where you used to, or where your parents used to live, put up solar system there, fix a borehole, nicely fence it up, and don't spend a lot of money on property in Zimbabwe, because basically your property is going to cost you a lot, but you won't be able to do much. Harare is very different from what it was in the past. So don't make that plan to say, I'm going to go to Zim, I'm going to settle there. And I know that most of you guys are now reaching retirement age. If you go to Gambakwe, we've been featuring a lot of people that are overseas. So lots of UK people, especially, coming home. And they are struggling very, very badly. Most of the people, when they get home, they cannot cope with the situation in Zimbabwe. The prices are too high for them. They cannot even have a normal life. And they would have spent all their savings trying to fix in Zimbabwe. So normally what I would suggest, let's say you've got 50,000 pounds. Don't take all your 50,000 pounds and say, I'll build a house, I'll have somewhere to live. Because if you fall sick, for example, there'll be no hospital for you. There'll be nowhere for you to, you actually be destitute in Zimbabwe compared to where you were overseas. So just check the features that we're bringing. It's bring out a clear trend where people are moving to Zimbabwe. And on arrival, within the first week, they realize that they've made a very bad mistake. And we'll be doing those features. Just go to Gambakwe. We've got a section where we're featuring UK relocations to Zimbabwe. So wait for a new government. Wait for us to fix for you. And then you can easily move home without any hassles. All right, so that is done. Let's go to stories. So don't take this like a joke. This will save you millions. And what I just said here, it will save you so much pain and it will save you a lot of money. So try to pay off things rather than spend money in Zimbabwe. Pay off your debts and stay where you are. Avoid going to Zimbabwe and wasting your money and then crying when you're not able to survive in Zimbabwe. Okay, so now let's look at the biggest story today. And the biggest story today is in the H Metro newspaper. The Duke and Slave party in Harare was the biggest ever. And thousands of people have attended the Duke and Slave party. So go check it out in the H Metro newspaper, probably my favorite newspaper, the TMZ of Zimbabwe. So the organizers of this event and all the upcoming events, you can go to gambakwe.com. You'll be able to see who are the organizers. That is Event Hawk. And these guys are making at least $500,000 on these events. So go and check out who are the organizers, who is coming next. So this weekend, Alec Macheso performed together with Freeman and a bunch of other guys. I don't know who are the female artists who performed, but they're going to be coming to the United Kingdom on 6 September. That is in 2 weeks' time at Potter's Bar. There is going to be Duke and Slay. You can go and check out all the events on Gambakwe. And then let's look at other stories. Vice President General Chiwenga has warned drug peddlers that they're going to be in trouble if they continue to supply drugs. So go and check it out on ZBC. He has given a speech there. I'm not going to be rebroadcasting those speeches because obviously they are available on ZBC platforms. So you can go and check them out. And then soccer star Alois Bunjira, and he is a CAPS executive now, is hospitalized after a very bad accident in Rusape. So he crashed head on with an Isuzu truck. And unfortunately, 2 people have died. So he's still inside his BMW, crashed head on with an Isuzu vehicle. And I do not see the actual Isuzu vehicle in this picture, but you can be checking it out online. So I think someone else has got the pictures, but I think they didn't take the picture because 2 deceased people are inside that Isuzu. So very unfortunate. Alois Bunjira, a very nice guy, always engaging with everyone online. And then Mnangagwa has handed over a SADC chair. So Madagascar has taken over. No one was arrested. No one was chased. And no one was singing around and jumping around, singing SADC chair. So this is what you need from SADC. No drama. And Mnangagwa, you can see him over here. But the biggest thing that happened was the speech by President Dumaboko, where he called on all SADC leaders to accept when they lose elections. So I'm going to give you a snippet of that speech later on today. President Dumaboko presenting one of the most powerful speeches, in which he said his predecessor, Masisi, handed over easily. But we still have African leaders who don't hand over power after losing elections. So go check it out on the SADC, especially the presidency of SA. They were broadcasting the whole thing throughout. Then today we're going to have President Edgar Lungu's judgment. So the 2 parties agreed to negotiate over the weekend, and today the judge is going to give a ruling, or is going to confirm their agreement. If they do not agree, then we've got a serious problem ahead. But I'm hoping that there's going to be agreement and we don't have this situation in Zambia continuing indefinitely. So look out for that before 12 this morning. We're going to know if President Edgar Lungu is going to be buried in Zambia or if an agreement of another nature has been reached. Then UNISA, the University of South Africa, is recruiting. So students who want to study at UNISA, today your applications are opening. So if you're a parent in Zimbabwe, do not send your child to the University of Zimbabwe. You're wasting your money. Rather send your child to UNISA. So if you go to unisa.ac.za, you will see that they've opened today. They're now taking applications. So go over there to UNISA. It's a proper university until the guys in Zimbabwe sort themselves out. Do not waste your time going to Zimbabwe University. There are no lecturers, and the situation is bad. Like I was saying in the beginning of this video, nothing is happening in Zimbabwe. Under Mnangagwa, everything has collapsed. And that is why we've written to Mnangagwa to say, let's have dialogue, let people come together across the nation and talk, because the situation is getting very bad. Lecturers are not teaching. Headmasters are threatening to go on strike. Teachers have been on strike. Nurses, and on the street, there's lack of security. I'll show you just now what has happened. Police are failing to cope, and people are being attacked in their homes. And these things that I'm saying are not exaggerations. If you live in Zimbabwe, you now need to be extra careful, especially if you've got a daughter or young women. They can't move around because of these guys, the touts. There is lack of control because Mnangagwa's government is now focused on just preserving itself. They are no longer interested in governing. So there's no governance taking place. The judiciary system has collapsed, and there is no proper structure in place at the moment. So there is a big need for you to be aware. Zimbabwe is not doing well at all. The lecturers at UZ, that is an example of 100 days without teaching. So there was no teaching for 100 days. They graduated without marking. So the students at the UZ graduated without marking. So try to use an online university like the UNISA here, which is where I attended. I did my MBA at UNISA. It's a very good university, and you don't have to worry about the university closing or lecturers not being paid or any of those other things that are happening in Zimbabwe. Then let's go to entertainment. My favorite people, not really favorite, these ones, the tallest women in Zimbabwe. These two women are the tallest women in Zimbabwe. I do not know if you guys have ever seen how tall Lorraine Guyo is. So when I'm standing next to Lorraine Guyo, I'm like half height, and I'm a fairly tall guy. I am like half a height. She is huge. And then Jackie Ngarande, obviously the same. So go and check out the two of them together. She has posted, so you can go and check out Jackie Ngarande and Lorraine Guyo. And I'm not kidding you. If you stand next to Lorraine Guyo, you'll feel sorry for yourself as a man. She's like one of the tallest people. When I was at the hotel, Rainbow Hotel, I sort of bumped into her, and I was shocked at how tall she is. Then Madam Boss is going to be traveling to Ghana. What date is this? 21st to 23rd of November. So big things happening for her all over. And then we are following a new YouTuber. That is Velile Kumalo. Go check it out. Doing very, very well. Many, many YouTubers coming up in Zimbabwe. Probably the biggest source of income right now for people is YouTube. So if you're not working, open yourself up a new YouTube channel, follow the rules, and you don't even have to worry. You're going to make a lot of money. Here at Gambakwe, we employ no less than 30 people on this channel, just on the channel of Gambakwe. Many, many people are getting paid, they're getting jobs. And in the past, it was even worse when we still had our websites running. It was big. So if you're not working, that's one thing you should try, running a YouTube channel. Then let's go to business. In South Africa, Standard Bank has made an announcement And the announcement is that 84% of all cash deposits are now on an ATM. So you can see the dramatic rise of the share price of Standard Bank. Standard Bank is the biggest bank in Africa, and they are dramatically growing. So in Zimbabwe, you know them as Stanbic Bank. So I don't know if in Zimbabwe you can deposit using cash or using ATMs. But in South Africa, when you are depositing cash, you cannot go in the branch. You're not allowed. They will just tell you to go out. And they've announced today that 84% of all cash deposits are now being done at the ATM, and 97% of all cash withdrawals are now being done at an ATM. That means almost no one is withdrawing inside the bank. On top of that, 45 out of their 416 branches, sorry, 65 out of their 415 branches are now cashless. That means no one ever enters that branch to deal with cash. The number of tellers, cash tellers, has been reduced by half since 2020. So when we tell you about changes, that is what is happening. In Zimbabwe, you need a new currency that actually comes out of the ATM. So you don't want people queuing up for cash because of the poor policy of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. But this is very exciting development at Standard Bank. Probably the biggest development has been the app. The Standard Bank app has improved very much. Since I started using it, it has done very, very well. And in terms of investment, because of the poor economy in South Africa, companies are giving back cash to shareholders or doing what is called share buybacks or giving back dividends. There's no opportunity for investments. And you can see the share price of Naspers here. It's showing what's happening with inflation in South Africa. There is an underlying increase in inflation taking place in South Africa. But what I like about South Africa is that the information is accurate. So I can fairly say I trust the information coming out of the Reserve Bank of South Africa and of Treasury. Whether it's good or not, I trust that information. However, in Zimbabwe, there's no information coming out of the Reserve Bank. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe doing very badly in terms of information, and it's embarrassing. Then let's go to DRC. Convicted war criminal Thomas Lubanga started a new militia, and they started killing people this weekend. So fighting broke out in the DRC, and the number that has died this weekend among his own soldiers is 12, and is now based in Uganda. So that is Thomas Lubanga. He is a former convicted war criminal. He was released after a negotiation with the current president of the DRC. And after his release, he was put into the government for a while. Then one day he was abducted, and he vowed to then become an enemy of the current government of the DRC. So what has happened is he has now set himself up in Uganda, yes, and has been attacking villagers in an area called Ituri in DRC. And this weekend, massive displacement has taken place in the DRC. So it's terrible what has happened in the DRC. The situation continues. And if you're watching, you'll see that a new video or an old video of South African Army General Rudzani Maphwanya has resurfaced. So an interest in General Maphwanya has taken place. People are interested in all the things that he was saying. And one of the videos that is resurfaced is his comments on the United Nations at the high level, that is the high level remarks at Qatar. So you can see, if you go to YouTube, you can find this video and see what is said here about the UN.
Explore, develop and implement a lasting solution. Dialogue is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to our collective wisdom and strength, both as global leaders and as communities. It shows our capacity to articulate issues patiently and clearly, listen to each other, consult comprehensively, with a common goal in mind and negotiate patiently until we reach a better outcome than a bitter result of bloodshed. It is in this spirit that we must encourage all parties to put aside their differences and mobilize for arrangement in constructive dialogue.
Okay, so dialogue, go check it out. I like this general. He's becoming more and more visible. And it's quite interesting for me to see the dynamics in South Africa. After I came back, there was expectation that something was going to happen to him. Nothing has happened to him after he traveled to Iran. And what is the consensus is that South Africa, especially the political guys, are practicing what called double speak, where they want to deal with America, but at the same time, they ideologically prefer what the Iranians, the Indians, that is where they are ideologically. They are not with the Americans. So I do not know how they're going to manage it, because the military guys don't pretend. They just do what they want to do. So if you take a military guy, he's not going to spend the whole time trying to play politics. He's just going to say what needs to be said. So you saw what he said about UN being dead, what he said about SADC and the strategy in SADC, and also what he just said, what I showed you about dialogue. So it's going to be very interesting to see the role of the army in South Africa. How is it going to be shaped? Because now you got a general that is got a high profile in South Africa. Normally the generals in South Africa did not have high profile, but this incident in Iran has made General Rudzani Maphwanya quite a visible general in South Africa. So let's see what happens. It's going to be very interesting to watch what happens within the next few months. Then let's go to FIFA. If you want to volunteer for FIFA, you can go on the FIFA website and you can volunteer, or you can become a volunteer at FIFA. So that is the FIFA World Cup is taking place from, I think, the 11th of June to the 16th of July. So you can become a volunteer on their website. That is for those guys who got time. So go over here to FIFA, and if you log in, you'll be able to, so let me see if I can log in here. I'm not a robot. And then you can actually do an assessment, and you can go to America. You choose a city, and then you'll be able to go over there. You'll be able to learn. And for those guys who are already in the States, you can become a volunteer. So I've created the profile here. It's very interesting. There are matches in places like Boston, Seattle, and so forth. So go over here and check out volunteer.fifa.com. So for the guys who want to become volunteers in during the FIFA World Cup, you can do a lot. There's a lot here that you can do. So I don't know if you knew about it, but now you know. Go over there and check it out. And then let's look at some newspapers. As you are aware, normally I travel to Johannesburg for the Lungu case. But last time I went there, an incident took place. So that's why you see, I normally don't advise you of my movements. So you might see me or you might not see me over there. But this is what it looks like when I'm in court. I'm like one of the centers of attraction. My people from Zambia, there's great love for Gambakwe in Zambia. So I'll let you know what is going to happen today, whether I will be there or not, but the news will be able to be delivered to you. So let's look at the newspapers. Let's start with the Zimbabwe Herald. And as I was saying to you, there is a big problem taking place in Zimbabwe, which is poor security. So because the places are not connected, if you're in one place like Marondera, if something happens to you, you can forget that help is coming. No one is coming for you. So I don't know how this can be resolved. The country is just a big bunch of houses. There's no connection. There are no services. Once you get out of Harare, anything that happens to you, You are by yourself. You and God, the two of you, you sort yourself out. So that is the thing we're trying to solve. We cannot have a country which is not connected and which has got so many problems. So let's look at some of the things that they're reporting here. And I want to particularly look at two incidents. So let's look at the robbery that has taken place. I want to see if this is available. Let's see this very, very quickly. So let's start with SADC. So two Zimbabwean journalists, that is Kudakwa Chiwenga and Veronica Gwaze, have won some awards. So the Gwaze family has got a lot of people in media. I know they've got people at ZBC and also here at Zimbabwe. But let me look at an attack that has taken place here. I want to quickly look at it. Unfortunately, I do not see where this is, but there was a fire, another fire at Glenview. And let's go a bit more. So police make headway in unlawful entry case. So this one, a man lost over $120,000 cash. Okay, $176,000 cash in Rua. And then armed robberies in Macheke. You saw that I showed you armed robberies at Shurugwi. So there is massive number of armed robberies taking place in Zimbabwe because the police are not able to cope. So if something happens, they're not able to cope. And now there's something needs to be done about the situation. You saw the robbery that took place at the city center where $500,000 was stolen. They cannot investigate. Many Beirut changes are getting robbed. And it's becoming lawless. So the country is becoming lawless. And what Mnangagwa promised when he went to Dubai, that they are going to put up a security operations center, has not materialized. I do not know why Mnangagwa has not been able to set up a security operations center in Harare. So the cameras have not been put in place. The biometric identification has not been put in place. And once someone robs you, they are gone. You won't be able to see them again. And that goes car robberies, house robberies, business robberies. It's a mess. Zimbabwe is not doing well. So that's one of the reasons why I'm saying if you are planning to move to Zimbabwe, make sure that you do your groundwork properly. The time is not ready. So much needs to be done on the ground. And public servants are not ready. They're not properly remunerated. And everyone is just working at the pace that they can, waiting for the next development to take place. So don't take this lightly. It's a bad situation that is taking place in Zimbabwe. And then let's go to H Metro. Like I said, I want to actually show you what they said in the newspaper, because this is the newspaper that reports on these events. So H Metro is saying that there were so many people here, and I've already showed you some of the pictures, but look at that number. So as I said, these guys made easily $500,000 from 15,000 women just on the ticket, which was $20, and VIP is $50. So it's even more than that. And it's this time there's no talk of anything. It's just very, very well done by these guys who do Duke and Slay. I hope that they do one in South Africa. That would be crazy if they did one in Zambia. In South Africa, I know they're doing one in Zambia, but I don't think they would be able to cope if they came to South Africa to do one. Especially if they do one in Johannesburg, it would be crazy. And then let's go to Chronicle newspaper, and then we'll go to the Zambian newspapers. So Chronicle Zimbabwe, let's see what they are saying. All right, so Chronicle Zimbabwe is almost similar to Herald Zimbabwe. They've got the same story of Mnangagwa handing over SADC. So now that Mnangagwa is no longer SADC chair, things are going to start moving at SADC. Unfortunately, many people don't like what Mnangagwa is doing in Zimbabwe. He's causing so many problems. So it's the same. So this newspaper is almost the same. And let's see. Pusheka girl spreads period poverty fight in schools. So there's a lot of period poverty. And what I've said is every shop in Zimbabwe, just put a basket on your tills and some pads. When someone is ordering their groceries, ask them to buy a pad. It's only $1. So when someone buys their grocery for 300, you ask them, please, can you add one packet of pads? And this is what they're doing here in South Africa. At the end of the day, you have 50, 60 pads in each shop. You put them all together and send them to a raw school. Our girls are using leaves, tissue paper, and all sorts of crazy stuff, and it's making them sick. So you guys, I know you got money, especially the guys in Zimbabwe, the ones that are working in banks and lawyers, you got money. Pay $1 every time you buy something and help the young girls not to have period poverty. And then let's go to sport. The top of the league is looking like this: Simba Bora 50, more MWOs 42, and Herendals 41. So Herendals doing very, very well. And Highlanders is now at the middle. They lost their match. Dynamos won, but still right at the bottom. They're going to be relegated. It's satanic. What is happening at Dynamos? I've never seen it. That Dynamos gets relegated. Even if they are at their worst, Dynamos has never been at that place where they are right now. If something is going to happen this year, no era, so you have Dynamos right there where they are. Okay, let's quickly look at the Zambian newspapers. So the Zambian newspapers, we've got one which says Zambian family, Lungu family goes to Concord. That is what it says here. I don't know what it's about. As I said, today we've got the Zambians in court, so I don't know what this article is about. So to make a direct appeal against the judgment of Pretoria High Court, that is an order that remains of president should be surrendered to the Zambian government. So that is the new lawyer of the Lungu family over here. And I don't think the Lungu family understand what they're doing, but it's not my father. So if they decide to go and spend the whole time fighting and their father not being buried, it's not my problem. So let's see what happens over there today. Today is very important. We're going to see what happens. And it's going to be very, very interesting. So let's look at our people in Facebook, starting with Advocate President Fadzai. What is she saying today? Good morning, 5 a.m. club. If you're not sure, it's a no. If you don't want to, it's a no. If you're not ready, it's a no. If your gut says no, it's a no. It feels bad, chaotic, fake, forced, off, uncomfortable, or wrong. It's a no. No is a full sentence. And you can say no during the thing. That's me. That's my addition. Guys, to me, everything is a yes. So everything is a yes. Let me tell you a secret about me. And a yes. Guys, I grew up in the village with my grandfather, the great Gambakwe. So by the time I was grade 6, I could not hear English. I could not speak English. The only book we got was the book in the class. So we would arrive in class and the teacher would hand us a book. We would read the book in class, the page that the teacher said we must read. Then we'll give back the book and we'll go home. In grade 7, I moved from the village to go into the city. I stayed at a place called Nkulumane in Bulawayo. So my father was working at Bulawayo. Every day, the thing that I did, I would take a book at Chabalala Library. There was a library there. My school was in Junta, at Sizinda. I would take a book every day and read it. The next day, I'll come back and take a new book and read it. So in 365 days, I read 365 books. I read about Russian fairy tales, English fairy tales, strategy, I read all the books at Chabalala library, and that was crazy. So all I can tell you guys is we've got a big opportunity to fix our country. And the thing we need to do is to take responsibility. The situation in Zimbabwe is bad. It's terrible. And you see me here every day, morning, evening, afternoon. The reason is, if you leave the country the way it is to your kids right now, it's going to be so bad. Your kids are living in the same history that I used to live in, what was that year? 1996. Zimbabwe is not changed. If you go to Nika Growth Point, the same way it looked 30 years ago, that's Nika Growth Point. If you go to Bechnaf, the same way Bechnaf used to look in 1990 is still the same. If you go to any place in Zimbabwe, nothing has changed. So we need to dramatically change our country. And these guys, Anamnangagwa, they will not do anything. They're not capable. So what we need is our young people to take up the responsibility to change the country. So imagine if we all leave it and say nothing can be done. What is going to happen? We need to fix this, and we need to make our country a great country. Unfortunately, Zimbabweans have got a certain characteristic. They like to delegate to other people. Chamisa must do it. Gambakwe must do it. Mahere must do it. If you call people and say, let's fix this country, they won't come. They are going to turn around and say, why didn't that guy fix? He's the one who said he's going to fix it. But it needs a group. It needs all of us. That is why we've approached Advocate Fadzamahere. And I'm going to repeat this on a daily basis. We need a new government in 2028. If we don't have a new government in 2028, everything's going to collapse. You'll never see such a collapse like what we're going to see after 2028. And you need a young person in the presidency. I actually prefer a woman. So myself, I prefer a young woman to lead our country. Now let's go to other people. Let's go to President Dumaboko. What is he saying? So I saw President Dumaboko's speech, and I'm going to show you a clip. And it was amazing. Leave power to others. And then let's see SADC themselves, what they're saying. So the office of SADC is going to move to Madagascar. And it's going to be interesting. And here we've got Executive Secretary looking much more relaxed. I'm not attacking him anymore because he's not hanging around with the thugs. Okay, so you can go and watch out the closing ceremony. It was amazing. A lot happened at the SADC closing ceremony. Madagascar is an amazing country, and they're going to do very well as SADC chair. Let's quickly look at the comments. Then I'm out of here, and I'll see you guys a little bit later. So why doesn't Zim government pay people from 1 crore income, 2 gold mine, 3 lithium, 4 diamonds will be getting $2,000? That's correct. No comments, please losing trust. Yes, don't trust Gambakwe, trust yourself. So if you see yourself trusting me, because I am doing this for me. So everything that I'm doing for me. So have you ever seen me? Guys, have you ever seen me in real life? How many guys have seen me in real life? Very few. The thing that I'm doing now, I am fulfilling my duty, my spiritual duty. You have a spiritual duty that you need to fulfill. We want to fix Zimbabwe, right? You want to live in your own country. You want to live in an advanced country. If you sit there and do nothing, you are going to just be like that until they take you and bury you in the ground. One thing that hurts me the most is going to a funeral. And during body viewing, I look at a person and I'm like, so have you achieved the things that you wanted to achieve? Our Zimbabwean people, there is GoFundMe for you to come, your body to come from UK to Zimbabwe. Do you understand what it means when you got GoFundMe? to come from UK to Zimbabwe. You have nothing. You have lived your life, and people have to help you to come back and be buried at home. Every day at the border in Zimbabwe, at least 20 to 40 bodies are moving across from South Africa to Zimbabwe without achieving much. So what we're trying to do is to stop people living on funeral policies. So funeral policy is the biggest business in Zimbabwe right now, instead of investment. So these are the things that I'm talking about. It's for me, it's not for you. It's not me, it's you. It's you, it's not me. I don't know what they say. It's crazy. It's not you, it's me. Okay, and then let's go to our sponsor. Guys, I've got so much love for Zimbabwe. No other country like Zimbabwe on this end. So our sponsor is Mve. Please go over there and buy a packet. If you're in the UK, you buy one packet, you get one packet free. If you're in South Africa, you buy one packet, you get 2 detox free. That special is ending. So the 2 special is ending. The detox special is ending by the end of August. So don't delay. You're going to miss out very badly. We don't want you kutongwa nema salad. Masalad anotonga. You used to encourage people to go home. Now we are discouraging them. We are devil. You expose people buying days at borders to be deported back home. So no, wait. I didn't encourage people to go home. I encourage people to do groups. That's different. So I'm talking about you taking your family and jumping into a plane and going home and saying, I'm not going home. We do groups. So groups, we bought land for 40,000 with 15 people. Each person paid $5,000. And that was then that. You don't lose millions. I'm talking here about people spending $200,000, $300,000 trying to fix in Zimbabwe. Don't do it. You will lose very badly. So if you find yourself a group of people that you can trust, then you can work together. But don't leave where you are to go and stay in Zimbabwe. The situation has dramatically deteriorated in Zimbabwe. And this started at the SADC summit. So during the SADC summit in Zimbabwe, everything just went down. And Zimbabwe is not doing well after that. It's doing very badly. So make it your duty to understand. Do not delegate your responsibilities to me. So don't say one day you leave, you tell your wife that I'm going to Zimbabwe now, and then you say, Gambakwe said, I've never, myself, I stay in South Africa. Why would I tell you to go to Zimbabwe? That would be crazy. So Mina, understand carefully what I just said. So let's recap what I said. The situation in Zimbabwe is not ready for you to return. If you're in the UK, don't spend millions and millions or thousands and thousands building Zimbabwe. Rather, you fix your home, your village. You put a ball, you put a solar, you put your Starlink. If you're going home, you've got a nice place to stay. Because you cannot make money at the moment in Zim. The people who are making money are people who are doing mining, gold mining, and that area is not for you. You can't do it. You don't even know how to mine gold. You don't even know where to go. People who are doing businesses that require them to travel through bad roads, bushes, they make money. You are used to living in a nice apartment with the Starlink and running water. You won't be able to cope, and your kids will hate you if you take them to Zimbabwe. So that is it for today. 45 minutes. It's been long. And let us take a break. I'll talk to you guys again around 1-2 p.m. And a good day to you.